Welcome back, everyone, to another Eat Speak podcast, the most delicious podcast in the Metroplex. I'm Bud Kennedy.
And Steve Wilson.
We have had our Reader's Choice contest. It's the first time in a long time we've had one of these Star Telegram Readers polls, and the readers have spoken. They've decided that the best brunch that Star Telegram readers love most in all of Tarrant County is at Brewed on West Magnolia in Fort Worth. So here with us today we have two of the partners in Brewed, Joey Turner and Steve Estes. Welcome, Joey and Steve.
Thank you, Bud. Great to be here. What an honor.
It was a long haul for the brunch. I don't know how many brunches people went out and ate to try all these restaurants, but it was a long haul. There were hundreds of votes in the very beginning, 100 nominees. Places they nominated everything from the fanciest restaurants in town to the Waffle House. And, people just loved all the brunches in town. People love Sunday brunch for sure, and people have grown to love Saturday brunch. The finalists, it was such a great cross-section of finalists. We had Lucille's on the west side of Fort Worth, which is kind of the old school, nice brunch. I tell people it's the brunch to go if somebody else is paying. And then you have the Funky Picnic Brewery in South Main Village, which is kind of the hipster brunch. You can have brunch, hang out, play outside. It's an Austin kind of aesthetic. And then a couple of kind of regional favorites, the Beacon Cafe up north of Saginaw and north of Loop 820. Everybody in North Tarrant County, the Beacon's been up there for 10 years, and people have known for a long time that there might be a lot of other places come and go in the suburbs up around Saginaw, Haslett, Keller. But the one place that everybody knows about is Beacon Cafe. It's been a favorite, and it's actually a buffet, a table buffet, which is hard to find. And then the other, the last five was Restaurant 506, which is the restaurant at the Sanford House in the middle of downtown Arlington, which draws this wonderful crowd of people from Arlington, Mansfield, Hurst, Euless, Bedford. It's really the nice place for brunch between Dallas and Fort Worth. So a good overall selection. People picked a lot of different places for a lot of different reasons, but the one that settled at the top was Brewed. 10 years of Brewed, is that right, guys?
Going on 10 years. October will be 10 years. So, yeah, we're excited. That's going to be a big day.
10 years and almost 10 different personalities for Brewed. Talk about how Brewed has evolved. I joke in the column Friday about how the first time I came was at night, and the server came to the table, and I said, now, which one of these beer and wine selections is local? And she said, well, I think we make all of our beer and wine right here.
Yeah, sounds about right.
And I said, well, this is going to be quite a place then. So you're in a little different business now, but talk about how it's evolved.
Yeah, well, it's definitely been a journey for sure. And we started off with our 8 partners, and none of us had restaurant experience, but we knew how to build a brand, and we had a dream to highlight local, and so we came out of the chute kind of as a gastropub, and we kind of got lumped into the craft coffee world at the same time, and even though we were a full restaurant, and so yeah, we had lobster corn dogs on our menu in the beginning, and lots of elegant things like that, and we really didn't even have brunch on the menu except on the weekends. We didn't have breakfast at all, and so when the weekend brunch just kicked off, we were like, okay, I think we're on to something here. And it took us several years to really hone in things. And so ultimately, I think we realized probably 3 or 4 years ago, breakfast and brunch is what we do best. And mostly it was from listening to our customers. And so we thought, well, if people love brunch and Fort Worth has really caught on to that, well, what if we had brunch every day? And so that's part of the evolution. And so right during COVID, we decided that right before COVID, we were going to just be a breakfast and lunch place and close at 3:00. So our hours are 8 to 3. And Steve, who's one of our partners here, came on as our general manager initially, and has just really helped us balance out and focus, and has helped us get to where we are today.
Well, it's been remarkable. I looked up 4 years ago, I wrote a column about how Brewed had discovered the 3 magic words to success. biscuits all day.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I think that is really when Brewed started getting everyone's attention. That a place people were arguing about who had the best biscuits, where to get biscuits, why can't you get biscuits? Nobody makes biscuits later in the day. I want more biscuits. And people found out you could go to Brewed and get those fabulous biscuits anytime. I think that made a big difference. What's the secret of your biscuits?
I'll let Steve take this one, Steve.
They're made with love.
Yeah. A lot of comfort.
And a lot of butter.
A lot of fluffy love.
Yeah.
Fluffy love.
Yeah, we actually probably the biggest secret with most may not know is we actually brush the top of ours with some honey butter. So.
Say honey butter?
Honey butter.
Honey butter. Okay. Yeah. So now this is a biscuit sandwich of some sort, right?
Yeah, that's actually one of our signature items. That's the Magnolia chicken biscuit. It is actually made with 2 seasoned chicken tenders, jumbo chicken tenders, 2 pieces of bacon, spicy honey, and a slice of provolone cheese.
So let's see. I have another deviled eggs.
Yeah, that's our bacon and candied Serrano deviled eggs. There's bacon inside the mix of the egg. And then we take the top. We actually take and slice Serrano peppers and then candy them and put them right on top.
So they like sweet or just the peppers, or
it's the best of both worlds. It's like a gobstopper, you know. So if you wait long enough, the flavor will change for you.
And here's another one.
It's probably another one of our signature items there. That is our mac and cheese chicken waffle, made with the same 2 chicken tenders, but we actually make that waffle using actual macaroni noodles, as well as a 5 cheese blend, and then serve that with some sliced green onions on top. That's actually the one item that I've heard of people. We were actually closed during COVID, interesting story, and a gentleman came knocking on the door and said he had come down all the way from Oklahoma because he had seen something on social media that was basically us making this specific waffle. And at the time, we weren't really open for full service. Yeah. And I invited him in and had him sit down and actually made him one for here and one to go. He waited about 20 minutes, but that definitely created a new relationship for sure.
It looks really good. I mean, so it's
mac and cheese in a waffle with chicken tenders and gravy on all that. Is that right?
It's a 5 cheese sauce on top, but yes, it's actually you got it.
The whole waffle is just noodles and cheese.
Yeah, it's literally taking a side of macaroni and cheese and making a waffle out of it.
Who thought that up?
It's amazing. I call it kind of our food channel worthy, item. And Steve had a great comment the other day. Is like you kind of need a nap afterwards, but
definitely worthy of a nap.
It's amazing.
And these brunch items, you can get them every day, right?
Every day, yes.
Every day.
I'm trying to think how many other trendy things you could fit into that. You got chicken and waffles with mac and cheese. Could you not get some avocado toast under it, or what about like s'mores or fruity pebbles?
We know the one item we could put in everything and make it the best thing ever is we could throw some bacon in there if we wanted
to. And then it would start flying out the door even more than it does now.
For sure. For sure.
Well, let's talk about being on Magnolia. Being on Magnolia was the hip place to be 10 years ago, and now a lot of people go to South Main, and Magnolia is a little more grown up. Talk about how Magnolia has changed in the medical district.
Yeah. Well, I'll start off. When we first started dreaming about this, maybe 11, 12 years ago, Magnolia was just beginning to kind of be, that place. And so we took a risk and wanted to kind of dive into what was already happening here. Avoca had just opened. And so we feel like we did the right thing, and it was definitely the new shiny place to come. But Magnolia in general has been a fantastic place for us. The one thing that we've always been pushing for is more retail. And so we're starting to see that. In fact, there's a big development right behind us that's going to help with that on this end of the street. But our biggest vision is blessing the city. And so the more places that we can help support and collaborate with, the better. So we love what's happening on South Main, and we just think it helps each other. So we love it. I'm on South Main all the time, but we think that there's just as much to be had here on Magnolia, and it's just growing and developing, and before long it's just going to be one giant square south of downtown.
Well, and talk about some of those new neighbors. It was a big deal when Conoroso opened next door, and so that's kind of really the duel of the chicken biscuits over there between yours and Conoroso's on Sunday.
Uh-huh.
And then there's another breakfast place across the street that's going to be reopening.
Yeah.
In the next couple of months. The Paris Coffee Shop will resume their nearly 100-year tradition. And then you have Shinjuku Station next door. And are those retail shops behind? And what else is around?
Well, there's a huge development right behind us, and there should be at least 4 or 5 retail shops on the bottom that opens right behind our patio, which we think will really help our patio life. But it's, if you look around Himes and in the middle of Magnolia, you'll see a lot of people walking around, but there's not a lot of that on this side of Magnolia just yet. And so we think that retail and with Paris opening up will help us again. And so Paris was, we came in while they were highly established and welcomed us, and we've worked well together, and we're excited to have them back and share the crowds.
I think the biggest thing I've noticed with Magnolia over the last even couple of years is, we've got some new apartments coming into the area, new condos. There's a lot of foot traffic that's more than just the Fairmount district coming in to what's going on here on Magnolia. And I think that's huge, not to mention we get a few staples that come in, like Joey just mentioned. I mean, there's certain places, like you said, Cane Rosso and then Heim Barbecue and places like that are now bringing more people as a destination. And that's kind of our goal too. We wanted to be the destination brunch spot that people were willing to come from, like you mentioned earlier, Saginaw, Arlington, or from around to just kind of come check out and see what we've got going on, because more importantly, they heard from somebody specifically about how great of a job we were doing.
You guys really seem to benefit from everybody else's remodeling. The Paris Coffee Shop taking nearly a year off for remodeling, and now Fixture, which is always one of the best brunches in town for a long time, is taking a few months off for remodeling. So everybody else is fixing their plumbing or something, and people are coming to Brewed for brunch.
For sure.
We'll take it.
Yeah, we'll take every last bit if we can.
You also talk about your beverage lineup, and I want you to talk about some of the beverages you showed us some the other day that were a little bit different. And Steve, you have got some pictures. Steve, ask them about all the infusions.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really get very many beverage pictures when I pulled this, but this is one I had. Looks like a mimosa, or?
So that one is actually, that is one of our house mimosas. We call it the Brewed Mimosa, and it was actually created. We also call it the Harrison Ford, because Harrison Ford himself used to come into Brewed all the time, and he would order a mimosa with a splash of pomegranate juice in it. And that's basically what we've continued to do ever since he's come in. And you can actually stop in and see him every once in a blue moon. He'll show back up again. So.
Yeah, for people who don't know, Harrison Ford comes to Fort Worth every 2 years for helicopter license training, and so he's here, and he was in line at Avoca and at the Taco Head Struggler when it was over there, and going places up and down Magnolia. So
yeah.
So what about some of the other drinks?
So one of the things we started doing that are actually make us pretty unique, we have a Nitro cold brew, which I know more people are getting those, but we have actually some really interesting flavors, like a strawberry hibiscus. Seasonally, we'll do some different things like a green tea lemonade, things like that. And then we also are one of the probably only places I know in this area that does the cold press fresh juices as
on
well. On Nitro as well. We have kombucha on tap. We have 2 flavors that we do. And those rotate every so often. And then, of course, we also have a mocktail menu, which a lot of people don't necessarily have on their menus either, because we saw, obviously, the need. You could do all these great cocktails and make them look all fantastic, but what about the people that don't want to drink alcohol, or what about the ones that want to bring their family in and want the kids to have something that's really special other than just a plastic cup with an OJ and a straw in it? So, one of my favorites is we do a cucumber smash, which will actually come with some fresh mint and smashed cucumber and some lime juice with a little bit of Topo Chico to it. And then we do some other things along the way too. We have a peach blistered jalapeno margarita and things like that we just try and incorporate as much flavor and most importantly, try and keep things just a little bit different, because that's the thing I think, if I had my way, we'd have a menu that everybody came for those items specifically because we're the ones that just do it the best.
Yeah, and that's what sets you apart from a lot of the really good other breakfast cafes in town, and you have all those drinks to pick from. Steve, do you have any other food or drink? What do you want to talk about?
Well, I was curious what your big seller is for brunch. I mean, what if we're going there, what do we need to get?
Number one, without a doubt, is the carafe of mimosas, because we do mimosas by the carafe.
What about a flight?
What's that?
What about a flight?
That's a good idea. We might have to add that one on. We've actually talked about adding like a flight of coffees on along the way too, so people can try some different blends and things like that. Those are things we're discussing as far as we evolve. But I like the way you're thinking, bud. That's a pretty good one right there. Our bacon Bloody Mary is pretty good. Actually, we everybody orders one of those, gets a slice of bacon coming out of it, and that one's really, really popular. And most of our drinks that we have there, you can actually do by the carafe along the way too, because we do a lot of larger parties on the weekends. A lot of families and groups come out and visit with us.
What about food? What's our top
Food.
sellers?
Wow. Actually, the great thing about our brunch right now is, we've put together a list of items that seems to sell about evenly across the board. I mean, we sell a lot of shrimp and grits. On Sunday, we do, obviously, there's mac and cheese waffle. Another one of our unique waffles is going to be our bacon banana waffle, which will actually come with a brulee banana with a Nutella sauce on top, with some strawberries and powdered sugar.
There we go.
Definitely, if somebody needing a good carb and sugar rush at the same time, that's the one to get there for sure. With bacon, of course, inside the waffle.
You can get bacon with anything, right? You can add bacon to anything you want, right?
What's that?
You can add bacon to anything you want, right?
Anything you want. You can put bacon. We'll put bacon in your milk if you want bacon in your milk. We're good.
And you all have good bacon, and so it's, even if you just get a bacon and eggs plate with a biscuit, you're off to a good start with the German hash browns that you have.
There you go.
Steve, one of the things I was going to tell you, Steve, is we also, right at a year ago, we just started roasting our own coffee. And so we have an emissions-free roaster. I call it the Tesla of all roasters. We get to display it in our shop. And so now we're only selling our own coffee. And so we have a Fort Worth blend, a near South Side blend, a Dallas blend, and a Bishop Arts blend. And so that's what it looks like. But
cheap plug.
Yeah, but and so that's been
the Dallas blend.
Is the Dallas the decaf?
Yeah, that's right. Well, we do have a shop in Dallas too, so a coffee shop in Dallas, and so.
Oh, and let's talk about that. What's the address in Dallas? And then you have a shop in the International Terminal at DFW. What's the location in Dallas?
The location, it's on Davis Street. I think it's 1112 Davis Street. Yeah.
It's close to, what's it next to? It's not far from, go ahead.
No, it's in the Novel apartment complex. It's one of the luxury apartment complexes, and we're kind of one of the amenities on the bottom floor. So I'm trying to think what else is around there.
It's in the Bishop's Arts District.
Yeah.
And then you're on the high end of the International Terminal at DFW, right? The 25s, 26s.
We are actually at Terminal D Gate 27.
Yeah.
And found out recently from the guys that are out there that is actually one of the number one restaurants in the airport terminal. So
awesome.
So and now do you just have coffee there? Or do you have any sort of pastry or food on it?
We actually have a full restaurant there at the end of the day. So a majority of our items, very similar to our brunch menu. There's a to-go counter that actually opens at 5 a.m. if you want to get some great brewed coffee or pastries. You can go over there and grab that from the to-go counter starting at 5 a.m. And then they have a full restaurant. And the great thing that we love about it is we also have a patio that extends into the terminal a little bit more too, that's kind of roped off. So you really kind of get a nice comfy vibe, just like we have here at Brew. So,
see, and I got to tell y'all, that's been great, because it's been really tough to get Fort Worth restaurants to go become the city's show window out at the airport, and to get people to say, oh, this is a Fort Worth restaurant. I'm really glad to be here. I'm going to go to that restaurant. I'm going to go to Fort Worth and go to that restaurant. And, having a good, strong Fort Worth restaurant for international tourists is very important to the city.
That's been such an honor. And so I don't know if you've seen we have our mural, our Love the Fort Worth the Love mural out there. And so that's been, especially with the addition of the Yellowstone and 1883 shows, that people are taking pictures in front of that mural at the international airport quite a bit now. And so it's a great way to show off Fort Worth and for us to kind of blend in, and we're just proud of Fort Worth and everything, and just to be a part of the culture here.
Steve, do you have that photo of the mural?
What are the hours at the airport?
I believe starting next week, they've actually extended them even further. It's going to be open from 5 a.m. until 8 p.m. So, or just when everything slowed down in basically the Terminal D area.
All right.
Okay, now there's a lot of times coming up when people will come to Magnolia. People might come during the Main Street Arts Festival. They might come on Easter Sunday or for Mother's Day, or later on during the Arts Goggle. There's a lot of times to visit. Do you have anything special for the Sunday holidays or for spring patio season?
Yeah, actually, so during COVID, we did a really great Easter brunch family to-go pack that became really, really popular. We thought we were going to hopefully sell maybe 20 or 25, and we ended up selling almost 100. But we're going to do a slow-braised USDA prime brisket with some ham. We're going to do it with our hash brown casserole, as well as some collard greens and our deviled eggs. And then we're also going to do that with a sweet potato cake as well. So we're going to do that still again to go this year. And then we're also going to do a buffet. It's one of the very few nights that we're actually going to be open past 3 o'clock for dinner. And we're going to do an Easter buffet. We're partnering up with Chef Misty Moon to do like kind of a little pop-up on Easter Sunday.
With Chef
Misty Moon.
Oh, Chef Misty Moon. Okay, so you'll be open how late on Easter Sunday?
We're going to open till 9.
Oh, till 9. So you'll run it a little longer, a little all day on Easter Sunday then.
Correct. And it'll be a nice, more gourmet style buffet on Sunday evening.
The other thing before we leave, I want you to talk about how you kind of not orchestrated your victory, but how you kind of helped things along and promoted the contest and got people to vote and rallied people around voting in the Star Telegram, because obviously we're very grateful for everyone's support, and talk about how you rallied the troops.
Mm-hmm. That actually was a lot of fun. We started out just kind of keeping it simple and doing table tents, promoting with QR codes so people could vote. We got our staff really motivated and excited about it more than anything else. And they're all very happy and fortunate that they're getting ready to have some sort of staff party coming up. But they really did a lot of the promoting themselves at the table, getting people to push it. And then we did a lot of walking around and doing what we do best, honestly, just visiting with people. I spent a majority of my time, especially on Saturday and Sunday, just walking around visiting with tables, telling them what we had going on and how honored we were to be nominated, and just asking for their votes.
Well, you came through, you won big. You're the Star Telegram Reader's Choice for Best Brunch. We're going to do some more of these contests and have people vote. I hope everyone will be watching StarTelegram.com, DFW.com to follow and vote the next time we have polls, and to vote for whether it's the best nachos or the best brew pub, or whatever our next bests are. But we started with brunches, and you helped us get off to a great start. So awesome. Thank you all very much. We're going to do it again. Thank you, Joey Turner, Steve Estes of Brewed. Steve Wilson, you have any more thoughts?
Just sounds like the big thing I pulled out of this is to get the carafe. When I
if you get the carafe, everything else is going to go A-okay.
Okay, yeah, I think that's a pro tip there. Don't buy the drinks, buy the carafe. Okay.
Get a carafe with a side of bacon, and you're in for the rest.
Okay.
We both boiled it down to
thank you very much.
We both boiled it down to 3 words: biscuit all day and get the carafe.
That's right.
Well, thanks. Until next time on the Eat Speak podcast, I'm Bud Kennedy
and Steve Wilson.